Well, a big day. The moment of truth has come. Welcome to 3D Accuracy, where I'll talk about 3D printing, 3D product design, and 3D injection and die-cast mold design. We're going to turn the electricity on. Of course you want to see that. I want to see that. So let me show you what's going on, and then we'll flip some switches. Okay, I just ran over to Ace Hardware this morning, got the last little screws I needed to attach this guy, the receptacle, get him screwed down tight, and put this one in. And then I also got the coupling for the air hose, so now I got both ends of the hose worked out, and I can put this one, goes to the male behind the corner of the computer, and then the other one here, the male one, just plugs into this outlet here, and I plug the electric in there. I haven't plugged that in yet. First, what I'm going to do is turn on, make sure the phase converter works. So I have not plugged the 3D printer in yet because I want to turn it on, make sure it's okay. The idler motor should start up within 2 seconds of turning on the power. And it should not turn on when I flip the switch on and give it electricity. So let's go out to the main panel. I'm going to go out to the main panel and turn the electric on to the sub panel. Let's start there. Okay, that's all done and ready. Nothing there to do except turn it on. Okay, so let's go outside here around the corner, and we come to this magic 100 amp circuit, and didn't blow. Okay, now this box is live now. Okay, Laupo, don't touch anything over here. This has got electricity in it now. Okay, now let's, if we turn on the 50 amp breaker, I know, go over here and stand by the motor. Come over here, sweetheart. Just listen, that motor, it should not turn on. If it turns on, tell me it's on, and then I'll quickly turn the power off. It should not turn on until I turn on the panel up there. So we just want to make sure all the wiring is correct. So let's turn on the 50 amp breaker. And now I'm positive I have electricity here because I've done this part so far before. So let's carefully turn this guy on. Oh, silence. Good thing. No noise, huh? No motor running. Okay, now there is electricity to this box as well now. This should be hot. These two should be hot. And what I should do is, you don't want to check them. You want to check them 1 to 1, but that won't matter. Okay. Now, the switch on here, if I flip that switch, this motor should go on. So let's see what happens. If I can hold this. Oh, bingo. Came right on. Just like it's supposed to. That's a good thing, Lapo. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's working. Yep. It's working. It's on. Yeah, the little white light is on. The little white light in the middle there between the start and stop button is turned on. Okay, now they say that these motors, they require like 100 hours of running time to break in the motor. So that's good. I was hoping it was going to be a little quieter because that's going to run the whole time the printer's going.
Sounding louder.
Yeah.
Noisy.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be a lot quieter. The way they talked, it was supposed to be very quiet.
Not quiet.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to turn off this video for a second, call the guy, and let him listen to the motor and see if there's something wrong. Okay, let's stop the video. It's running, but that motor's a little noisier than I would like it to be, but not much I can do about it except cover it with some soundproofing, but it has to breathe because it's been running for, I don't know, 10 minutes now, and it's already getting a little hot. So I can't enclose it. I have to let that guy breathe. Anyway, I checked the voltages. I went ahead and checked the voltages across the connections like they recommend, and then I turned on the circuit breaker and checked the voltages across the receptacle to make sure that the machine is going to get a voltage. Actually, it's going to go through the transformer, this transformer here. When I plug in to the receptacle underneath there and turn it on, it's going to go through the transformer first, and then it's going to go on to the machine, and then I have to turn the machine on. So basically what I have to do is first turn on the phase converter so that's running to supply the correct electricity to the machine before I turn this circuit breaker on and give it any juice. So anyway, all the voltages were within range. I got anywhere from like 241.5 and the max was 264. And they said that it would be over, it would be over what is normal, 240 volts, but once there's a load on it, it'll balance out and kind of settle down. So that's what has to go into the transformer is 240 volts, and then the transformer kicks it down to 230 for the machine. So now the next step is plug in the machine. Do we dare? Do we dare? Oh, and I checked this outlet and it's correct. It's fine. I checked the wiring on that. So I can plug in the air compressor. That's what I should do. Plug in the air compressor first and make sure this guy works also. Now that I have the outlet to plug it into, see, I can take this handy dandy plug and get it in there. All right, and I realize I don't want any of these cords sitting on top of that motor because it gets hot and I don't want to damage the cords with the heat. Let's turn it on and see if that works. Okay, air compressor works and it's making some noise. I don't know what it's set for or what it's required, what's required for the machine. I gotta look, but at least I know it's working. I don't hear the air compressor. The idler motor is more noise than the air compressor is. But that's real quiet, and I thought it would be just the opposite, But I checked with the guy, and he said it sounds normal to him, but it's noisier than I hoped for. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit of a hum, not a So we'll have to see if it settles down as it breaks in, that sort of thing. Okay, so now I've got to put this phone down. So let me break this for a minute so I can connect up this air compressor and go from there. Rain delay. Why does this kind of stuff always happen? I don't know. You guys have the same kind of experience like this? You're in the middle of doing something and then it just goes, goes in a strange direction. Anyway, what happened? I was going to plug in the machine and try to turn the 3D printer on, and I went to connect the air compressor, and when I went to put the connection in the back, let's see, where is it? There you go, right there. It goes, the blue line goes to the back of the 3D printer. I happened to rest my hand on the motor, on the idler motor. And when I did that, it was so hot, I could barely touch it. And I thought, whoa, this is not right. This is not right. It's been running for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and it's that hot. And I checked the voltages. I did that and wrote the voltages down, and they say it should be pretty close to the voltage that's coming out of the sub panel, which is 243 volts, 243.3. I checked it. So what I got across the connection was 241.5, 259.7, and 262.5. And when I told the guy what they were, he said, shut it down. he said they should be higher than the average voltage, that's coming off the sub panel, but only by a couple of volts. He says something's not right. So, of course, we have no idea whether it's the three-phase panel, there's something wrong in the panel, miswired, a bad component, who the heck knows, or whether it's the motor. I'm kind of guessing something with the motor because it's noisier than I think it should be, and it's really hot, and the sales rep guy said, no, it shouldn't be that hot. He said it should be warm to the touch, but not to the point where you can't barely touch it because it's that hot. So anyway, I have a hunch some of this is going to have to go back, and I'm going to have to wait for some other new components to come in and put it in. It is wired correctly. I know that. I followed the instruction manual to a T, and I took photographs and wrote down. I have documentation of everything I did along with the instructions in the manual. So it's not a wiring issue because the wiring's pretty straight and simple. It's not that big a deal, really. There's either something wrong with the unit or something wrong with the motor. So we'll see how that goes. Getting another one in here. So not happy about it, because what that means is all that stuff that I put up on the wall and all that heavy motor I moved in here and wired up and spent all that time, I've got to do that all over again, or at least some of it. So I've already had to route the wire twice, first the 10 gauge and then the 8 gauge. So now the good news is this circuit that I put in works perfectly. The voltage check's fine, everything works, the air compressor works. The ones that I did over here yesterday for the other 3D printers against the wall, those guys over here, I checked those and they are fine also. Nothing, not a thing wrong with those. So what I'm going to do now is I've disconnected everything from the, oh, by the way, look at that. It's a beautiful day today. It's not so hot. It's pleasant. I have all the shop doors open. I love when I can do that. The air goes through and I can work. Oh, absolutely love it. So, see, I got the back door open. The wind's coming through. It's like, oh, feels so good. So pleasant. Glad to be done with the hot, hot, hot. Anyway, so I changed hot weather for a hot idler motor, huh? I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you're ever in need of 3D product design, 3D injection mold design, 3D die-cast mold design, or 3D printed prototypes or production parts, please feel free to contact me. You can find contact information in the video description. I look forward to hearing from you and to being of service to you. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it. See you on 3D Accuracy's next video.